Hey guys, All in Crypto here and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, for another YouTube video. In this video, we are going to be covering Stellar Lumens. Now, I have been meaning to get around to this project. It has been a little while since we have covered it, but we're going to tackle it in this video. I'm going to give you an update. I'm going to quickly outline what we're going to be looking at in this video. So, of course, we're going to look at the charts, and I'm going to be telling you why I believe a new all-time high, and in fact, further than that, we could potentially go up to $1 in Stellar Lumens in this next run, guys. I think Stellar Lumens is setting up for some pretty explosive price movement to the upside. We're going to cover it in this video. We're going to, of course, take a look at the charts and perhaps do some... I'm a novice TA, so some novice TA. We're also going to look at some news and why this is bullish for Stellar Lumens. And of course, I am going to be, as I have not yet spoken on it, looking at the conspiracy that Elon Musk could perhaps be secretly hinting to buy Stellar Lumens to the masses out there. We're going to cover it. It's not that important, so we're going to do it right at the end of the video. So stay tuned for that, guys. First of all, let's take a look at where Stellar Lumens is today. Stellar Lumens is 14th in terms of market cap with 51 cents as its price and up round about 11% on the 24-hour. Now, it only has a market cap of $11.7 billion. Let me just remind you that Dogecoin actually got to $50 billion. And in my opinion, there's a lot more going on technologically and fundamentally with Stellar Lumens. So the first place that I want to take us, guys, is to the charts. Now let us we'll start on the biggest time frame, I guess. We'll look at the weekly. Now we've got the 20 EMA here up, and EMAs are not always concrete evidence that something is going to or a coin is going to perform in a certain way. However, when you're looking at what the price of a coin is going to do on a chart, all you're really doing is looking at prior history and comparing it with what potentially is setting up in the present. So one thing I want to kind of tell you about is this EMA is you can see that in a bear market it acts as resistance. You come up and you keep rejecting off it. In a bull market, it acts as support and you climb up it. It's like an elevator, guys. And every time you come down to, and we spoke about this on a number of different projects, we covered it in Cardano yesterday, where we said that the EMA, when you run away from the EMA, you will usually come down and meet it at some point. And we think that kind of day of reckoning is or could have potentially happened for Stellar Lumens. There's a lot of coins out there that are miles, very overextended from it. And I think they're going to meet their maker towards, at some point in the future before they really explode in terms of price. Stellar Lumens essentially has already done that. Now, why does that make me bullish? Well, let's take a look at what it's done prior. You can see that every time it kind of comes back down to meet its the 20 EMA, it's followed with some pretty explosive price movement to the upside. And we actually think that, the fact that this prior all-time highs in 2017 acted as resistance is a bullish sign, in my opinion, because what this does is it allows us to kind of coil up, kind of get a lot of combustion behind us and explode through it. And I think you could see a price of anywhere, my guess, in this next big move, so not sort of short-term moves where we're consolidating and ranging, the next move to the upside that is going to be of any significance could take us from anywhere to 80 cents to $1. I think that is absolutely on the table. And ultimately, we've said on a number of occasions we think Stellar Lumens could get to $5 by the end of this year. Where it could go in the future, guys, is anybody's guess, but certainly based on prior kind of performance, and where we think the market cap can get, etc., etc., etc. We think a $5 XLM is absolutely on the tables. It might not get there, guys. Make sure you cash out along the way. I know I certainly will be, but to this day, I have not sold a single XLM, and I've been accumulating for about 3 years. It's not my biggest position, however, it is certainly significant. Now, what I want to do, guys, to kind of reaffirm why I think we are going to see an explosive move to the upside is take us to the daily time frame, and let's take a look at the EMA and how it acts around that EMA. We are currently right now seeing a test of it. If we reject off that, I would kind of expect this to act as resistance. However, if we shoot through it, I would expect a big move. So I am watching this, and we have, of course, wicked through it, but that doesn't necessarily mean anything. I'd like to see the candle close. One reason this is significant is because let me highlight the times where we have indeed pierced that EMA and what kind of comes as a result of it. And people are saying, oh, well, we've not really gone, we've not been under that EMA enough for us to kind of see an explosive move to the upside. Well, there are absolutely kind of price points where we've kind of just about sort of pierce below it, and then we see a very volatile move to the upside. I think that is potentially setting up today. And of course, our prior all-time high is round about sort of 70 cents for XLM. I think we are going to absolutely go through that. I think that what I would not like to see is another rejection from the prior all-time highs. This would not be the most kind of bullish scenario. However, it's not the end of the world, guys. Ultimately, this is a project. Even though TA, technical analysis, is helpful, it is not the be-all and end-all. And ultimately, what I would like to say on that is, I personally invest. I'm a macro investor. I invest on the fundamentals of a project, and then I kind of use the TA as another weapon in my arsenal. That's how I use TA. It's not always right. It's not always wrong. It can be relatively accurate if you know how to use it. But ultimately, it's a good kind of indicator of what you're going to certainly see on the short-term time frame. And I think you are setting up for a break out of that. Now, let us take you to a 4-hourly chart before we get into some of the news. And, of course, we're going to cover that conspiracy. I like to cover these things. I like to keep it fun. There's a lot of people that are curious about that. And why do people think that Elon perhaps is shelling stellar lumens? Well, we're going to get into it in this video, guys. So you can see here on the 4-hourly, the EMA, we've actually broken out of it. And every time we have broken out of this EMA, I could have potentially left those squares on, guys. But look what happens. It essentially becomes an elevator that you ride up. We think a similar thing. Look, you can see it again when it kind of goes from being resistance to being support. You can see what comes, guys. You get a kind of explosive move to the upside. And that's why I thought I'd get on here and tell you. We've made sure we've come on here every single day and told you that the bull market is not over. That is because it is not over. Bitcoin has a long way to go. The entire market looks like it's kind of gaining some strength. I think we're on $2.7 trillion now. So we've, the whole market looks like it's kind of gaining some relative strength. I think Bitcoin's going to range for a bit before we see that explosive move. You have Plan B's model out there. For those of you who don't know what the stock to flow model is, go and give that a watch. Just type in Plan B and it will come up in regards to Bitcoin. I think he has us, and this is just off the top of my head, guys, it could be wrong, around about $72,000 per Bitcoin in about 3 weeks, guys. So I think you're going to see some explosive price movement, not only in XLM, but in the entire market in a very, very short period of time. It's got me excited. So let's cover some other news. And this is 21 Shares launches Stellar and Cardano ETPs on 6 exchanges. Swiss-based investment product provider 21 Shares is launching exchange-traded products, ETPs, for the native cryptocurrencies Stellar and Cardano. Why am I bringing this up? Why is this significant? Well, let me tell you, because why would they choose Stellar Lumens out of all the cryptos out there? It is a confirming factor to me that Stellar Lumens is still a contender in the crypto space. Yes, it has somewhat underperformed in terms of other coins out there that have done exceptionally well. I think we're at 400% in the year or something like that. Let me take us off a 4-hourly chart, otherwise it will take us you will spend an hour trying to get to where let's do data. It hasn't yet made its all-time highs. In some respects, it has underperformed quite a bit of the market. Like I say, Stellar Lumens isn't my biggest bag, but it's a coin I'm certainly interested in and have a sizable bag of. I think that if you look at how Stellar Lumens performed in prior bull markets, like 2017, it was a laggard. Same way XRP was a laggard. They didn't really do a lot till the end of the year, and then they just went crazy. I think a similar thing is going to play out this year. It's what I'm looking out for. I think, ultimately, if something's acted in a certain way under a kind of criteria prior, there's no reason, unless it just doesn't, to suggest it's not going to do that this year. There are a lot of kind of variables in that, but the last thing that I want to touch on is Elon Musk. Now, I have my own opinions on Elon Musk. I don't really care to share them on this channel. Essentially, I think he's another puppet in the show. I'm not quite convinced that he's this savior that everybody makes out him to be. However, he's done a lot in his life. He's achieved a lot, and I think he is a very successful individual and certainly a very successful businessman. I think was he the richest man in the world at one point? I can't remember. Did he take over Bezos? Who knows? But you got to give credit where credit is due, regardless of what my own personal opinion on the guy is. Now, he tweeted something called Austin Rocks. He tweeted Austin Rocks. Very random. And somebody said, hey, go and type that in to a geometria calculator. So, indeed, I did. A number of other people did. This was not news that I have found. This was brought to my attention. I just thought I'd throw my 2 cents in it. And if you type in Austin Rocks to the geometry converter, the results by Jewish Geometria comes up with Jed McCaleb, who, of course, is the founder of Stellar Lumens. He also founded Mt. Gox, but we're not going to speak about that. You know, that we're going to act like that never happened. And he also helped to build the XRP ledger. He had a disagreement with them, etc., etc. I think it was over how things were being spent, how the kind of budget was being spent, and this, that, and the other. And it has essentially become an opponent for XRP. And Stellar Lumens really is just a fork of XRP. They're more kind of community based. They're XRP and Ripple, the main kind of custodians of XRP, are essentially a private company. Stellar Lumens and the foundation is public. Not public, sorry, non-for-profit. So XRP is for profit, Stellar Lumens is non-for-profit. There's variables between them. But ultimately, I wanted to throw my 2 cents in on this. Is he telling you to buy Stellar Lumens? I would not invest based on that. He had in his bio something that if you also put it into the geometria converter, that it said learn geometria. He could possibly be hinting it. He is a bit of a troll, I think. It could be this isn't new news. I just thought I'd cover it before we wrap the video up. It's very interesting. I certainly, kind of looked at it, went through it all, his other tweets and did the geometries with that. I do not buy or sell anything based on this is what I'm trying to say to you guys. Just interesting. I just thought I'd cover it on this video. For those of you who haven't heard about it already, lots of people talking about it. I'm not so convinced. Some people say he's trying to shill XRP. And the last thing I want to touch on before we wrap this video up, guys, and it's really to do directly with Stellar Lumens. So that was just some interesting stuff. I don't know whether any of you appreciated me throwing that in there or not. Is Stellar Lumens does get a lot of hate from a lot of people because it works with banks. They want to kind of, instead of, this whole narrative that cryptocurrencies are kind of going to overthrow and replace the kind of traditional system, Stellar Lumens is actually integrating with them. If you are in the crypto space and you custody all your own crypto, you've gone through that whole kind of level of security, you understand what cryptocurrencies and certainly Bitcoin was really about. It was about peer-to-peer with no third party other than the kind of technology behind the blockchain getting involved. Then yes, I think that you are correct. I think you have a reason to be a bit of a hater. However, if you are custodying your crypto on a centralized exchange and you are using a bank and etc., it doesn't really make that much sense that you would hate on this. It's ultimately the majority of people I think are here to make money. There's nothing wrong with that. It's certainly why I got introduced into the space, and then I found that blockchain technology kind of aligns with my core values. But if you're here to make money, guys, don't worry about that. This coin is going to do very well in my opinion. This is all my opinion. None of this is financial advice. And yeah, I'm going to wrap this video up because I'm waffling on now. I'm going on about all sorts of manner of madness. I'm going to love and leave you guys. I look forward to hopefully seeing you in the next video. If you enjoyed this content, a like is always appreciated. A comment is, very welcome. I want to know your feedback, whether it's good or bad. Just try and keep it clean. And I look forward to hopefully seeing you all in the next video. So please subscribe to one of the fastest and realest growing YouTube channels out there. And I will see you all in the next one, guys. Have a fantastic day.